My name is Lucky Kareem. I'm a member of the Rohingya community from Burma. I'd like to start by thanking members of the committee for holding this hearing and for passing the Burma Genocide and Accountability Protection Act, or Burma GAP Act, out of committee. I was forced to flee my home at the age of 14 in August 2017 when the Burmese military waged a genocidal attack against the Rohingya people in Rakhine State. As a child, I lived in the world's largest refugee settlement in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh for 6 years. The Burmese military regime has been persecuting the Rohingya in Myanmar for decades. Since the military coup in Myanmar in February 2021, the political, economic, and humanitarian crisis in the country has only grown more dire for the Rohingya as well as other ethnic minorities in Burma. The remaining members of the Rohingya community in Rakhine State are dying from hunger. Internally displaced people have zero access to humanitarian aid. And the genocidal violence continues even to this day. As a result, tens of thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes since 2023, bringing the total population of people languishing in the Cox's Bazar camps to more than 1.3 million. I only have 5 minutes for this testimony, but I could spend the entire day listing the abuses suffered by the other ethnic and religious groups in Burma. Not only Rohingya Muslim, but also Shang, Karen, Kachin, Moin, Karenni, Rakhine, Shin, Christian, Buddhist, and Hindu all across our diverse nation have endured years of persecution, war crimes, and indiscriminate violence by the Burmese military. All minorities have suffered and all need to be part of the democratization process. Despite the reality on the ground, Burma's military regime is planning a sham election next month. This election will never be free or fair. It is only the way for the military regime to seek international legitimacy. Our risky journeys out of Myanmar in pursuit of a better life did not start when the genocidal attacks against us began in 2017. People have been fleeing in persecution since at least the 1970s, forced to be refugees in neighboring countries like Bangladesh or elsewhere. I traveled back to Bangladesh refugee camps 2 times this year. When I was there in February, the World Food Program was preparing to announce cuts to food ration for refugees to go down from $12 to just $6 per month for each individual. This is a cut that would have had devastating consequences. Thankfully, the United States has stepped up to continue funding, but that funding will only last a few more months. Meanwhile, the closing of USAID and broader aid cuts have forced health clinics, learning centers, and other programs to close. People in Cox's Bazar camps are fully dependent on the food ration that they receive once a month because the majority of them have zero earnings. There are no livelihood opportunities for families in the camps. The government of Bangladesh, long a generous host to Rohingya refugees, has done much for my community. But expanding access to livelihood and education would do perhaps more than any other policy to ensure a safe and sustainable future for the Rohingya community. In our homeland, most urgently, too many of our people continue to die due to violence and hunger. The international community and the U.S. government must act now to pressure the Myanmar military to stop its attacks and to allow aid into Rakhine and other areas across the country, facing high levels of food insecurity as we consider the future for my community. Repatriation to our ancestral homeland is the ultimate solution. It has been said before by myself and many other Rohingya, but bears repeating, we the Rohingya community want to go back to our homeland in Rakhine State when it is safe to do so. Here is what the U.S. government can do more to help us. Congress should pass the Burma Genocide Accountability and Protection Act, or the Burma GAP Act, which lays out a comprehensive policy for addressing many of the crises affecting our country. It would support refugees and internally displaced people. It would address the need for accountability for genocide and crimes against humanity by the Burmese military. It would also promote long-term solutions for the Rohingya, such as citizenship rights, safe and voluntarily return to Burma, inclusion in a future federal democratic system. The bill also authorized the creation of a U.S. Special Representative for Burma and calls on the administration to refuse to recognize the Burmese military as the country's legitimate government. This is so important ahead of the sham elections scheduled for next month. Congress should also call for the immediate restoration of the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program. I'm one of a few who have benefited from the kindness of the American people and America's rich history for resettling refugees. It has given me and many others the opportunity to speak up on the wall stage in support of my community. And the United States should continue to engage the Bangladesh government towards providing education and livelihood opportunities for Rohingya refugees. I would like to end here with a question for you. What will it take for my people to be able to live freely and securely in our home in Burma? And when the future generation of Rohingya look back, will they still be asking the same question, or will they be home at last, asking simply what took so long? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kareem, for those questions, and we hope to address those. That's the whole purpose of this hearing, because we wanted to make sure that the suffering and the suffering of the Rohingya population are not forgotten, and we wanted to make sure that we are paying attention. So I hope those who are watching and listening know how committed we are. Thank you.